Stone. I'm here with Anthony Devito. No Brendan Eyre today.
That's not true. Brendan is right there.
No, I'm the new leader of the group.
What are you doing?
No,
this,
never.
Yeah, I'm the new leader. Brendan is not the leader anymore.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
You
the.
are unfit. A vote of no confidence in Chancellor Valorum.
No.
There's no way.
No, look at me. Did you see how clean we came in?
Clean, you said that Brendan wasn't here. He's sitting right there. Super
I
clean,
can
like
le-
wrong.
Welcome to the Rad Dudecast,
I'm Captain Kirk.
episode 5.
Oh, man.
I already did that.
I know, but here's the thing: I did it again because normally we have a guy that makes fucking awesome barking noises. I thought if I do it again, he'd catch on. Welcome to
I'm
the
in a
Rad
heated feud
Dudecast.
with him.
Welcome to the Rad Dudecast, episode 5. There we go.
I'm the leader.
You are nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're hot with this feud with Greg and Anthony. It is cooking, and we are loving it. We're here in Astoria, Queens, at the Dudio, as I've been calling.
Know who I am? He's Megatron. I'm Starscream.
I don't know who that is.
It's your mother's twat. That's who that is.
Wow. His mother listens to this podcast, you animal.
Why, Joanna, I
His
love you. You're a great
mother's
woman.
our
No.
only
His
fan.
proverbial mother, not his real mother.
Oh, his proverbial.
Yeah, like the heavenly mother. Your heavenly mother.
Well, that's maybe worse. I think you're talking about the Virgin Mary.
No,
And
no,
that's-
and not the Virgin Mary, but the mother. The proverbial mother that is Anthony's mother is a fucking twat, but not his real mother and not the heavenly mother, Mary. God bless, son of Padre and the sons. That's a prayer, I think.
Didn't Joseph and Mary have another kid?
Yeah. So Daryl.
Daryl.
Black
yeah,
Jesus.
nobody talks about Daryl, God's brother. Is that a true thing?
Yeah.
Jesus didn't have a brother.
Well,
Why
that's what
not?
I'm asking. Did Jesus have any brothers or sisters?
We're all brothers because we're all family. We're all cut from the same rib.
Is that how it is?
Stop burping!
This burping is not stopping.
This is like because the last episode happened a week ago. You've been burping for a straight week. Brendan's getting mad. Look at his face.
I've been eating
I'm
chicken
not.
salad.
I'm not getting mad, but this guy loves burping. I'll be honest with you. Probably in my entire life, I've burped 4, maybe 5 times.
Really?
Yeah, well, that's another thing
That's
that a lot of
crazy.
people don't know about me. I've only fallen down 3 times in my life. That's including when I was a baby.
No.
Yeah,
I believe it.
No.
I've got a
What were the times?
once playing with an aerobie.
What's an aerobie?
It's an aerobie.
You know, one of those orange the frisbees. They got a hole in the middle. You can throw them about 500 yards.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fell down with one of those.
Because you threw it so hard.
No, I was running to catch it.
Oh, okay. You were playing with a dog?
All right,
No,
listen. I'm
friend.
going to jump into this first news story
Yeah.
because I'm the new leader. Check this out. It's the evening of my birthday. My boyfriend has been a lot of work all day and finishes work at 8 p.m. He says he wants me to open the door
What
to
is
him
this?
and some sexy red lingerie. Just a bra and thong, nothing else. When the doorbell goes at 8:10, I rush to the mirror. I grab him and drag him inside.
Brendan, can you lead
and
again?
wait, this is a good story. We have to figure out the
I
story.
like this story.
Okay?
Hold on.
I grab him and
Always
drag him
cornered.
inside, and he kisses me with such a force and rubs his cock against my pussy.
Hold on. Hold on a second.
Telling me
Hold on a second.
I look so what?
Hold your horses. You hold one moment here, sir. Where are you? Where is this coming from?
I looked up hot stories. So I'm gonna read some of the hot stories that are on the internet
Greg,
right now.
Greg, you're reading us pornography.
Oh no! I can feel my pussy so wet.
Gregory. Greg, this is not a story.
It's the news. It's the
No,
internet
this
news.
isn't news.
Where's
I know
This
I will
might be
get a
the
good
news.
hammering
you wanted
tonight.
to hear the story?
The thought of this sends me wild. How are we going to handle this, boys?
Now,
He
Gregory,
picks me up and throws me on the sofa.
This is pornography, and I
No.
won't have it on the Rad Dudecast.
He then sucks my nipples and
Hey,
inserts his
okay.
finger.
All right. That will do. That will do,
I'm
sir.
doing the news now.
That is not
Where
the
is this-
news.
Where does the story take place?
Everyone has a thing they do. I do the erotic news
you
segment.
know-
Everyone
That's-
knows I handle the erotic news
That's
segment
not a
of this
bad idea
podcast.
to have an erotic news segment.
It
Usually
is-
I'm against
yes,
everything that comes out of his mouth.
It is a
But
bad
that's not
idea
a
to have
terrible
an
idea.
First
Why,
of
that
all,
was pretty funny.
if we're doing erotic news, that's not news. That's an erotic story.
Yeah,
Now,
but
if you want to have an erotic story
the news
segment.
part where the
What's the
murder
news part?
happens. Let me get to the part where it gets hot,
Okay.
And inserts his finger into my pussy. He tells me I'm so wet and can't wait to screw me.
Oh, God.
Well, you have to wait for the
Yeah,
news
no,
part
I'm
to
waiting. Keep going.
we kiss passionately, and he fingers me until I'm throbbing.
First of all, he's fingered it 6 times already.
Yeah,
she's
that's
fingered.
a lot of. She is fingered.
Okay, let me skip through this. I've been waiting for blah blah blah. Okay, once I have come, he starts kissing my stomach, and I ask blah 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 blah.
What?
He screams and moans, pleasure me. He's coming. Blah blah
No,
blah blah. blah.
okay, no.
Wait, no,
that's
I gotta get to the news
enough.
part.
No, that's
Oh my
If
God,
you don't
my
get to the
fantasy-
news part in the next sentence, then we have to stop.
we have
Okay,
to
all right,
stop
all right,
because
okay.
Anthony's
The next
mom
sentence.
listens to this podcast.
All right, the
Yeah,
friend
no.
pushes me against the dining table, and I lie on it. He starts. Oh, a friend is coming.
Okay,
No,
that's
okay,
it.
that's
That's
not
it.
news.
You had one sentence.
You had your
It's not
chance.
news.
Let me read
That's
the
not
comments.
news.
No, stop.
no,
Stop.
no. Gregory,
All right.
Greg. Now let's be honest. That was pornography.
No,
If you're
no.
going to do the erotic news segment, you have to have some kind of news aspect.
Oh yeah,
to it.
here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
No,
No,
he's, this
no,
is
No,
not
it
gonna
gets
be
into
good.
like
your chance
Obama
with that
and
This is not gonna
healthcare.
be good.
It talks about healthcare. Hey, you really should put your stuff on a website, www.redtube.com. That's pretty good. So that's my news segment. I think
The
I handled
erotic
it.
news.
The erotic
You
news.
just read RedTube.
All right. Well, now there's the silence. I could be filling the airwaves with
We're all
sultry
in shock
tales.
that you did that.
I don't know.
I want to take this podcast a different way.
No,
That
yeah,
way?
To a
I mean,
sultry way.
that's
we get women
fine.
hot
because
women.
we all have agreed.
No one
Erotic
just wants
tales.
to hear
Now
you
I will
talk
give
about
you,
some girl getting fingered
No,
for an hour.
let me now, Anthony. If I could take a try, because
So, Amanda,
if we
got
could-
a couple things.
if we are gonna do an erotic news segment,
Uh-huh.
can I take a shot at it?
No, this is my segment.
I know, but that you didn't give any news. You're the erotic story segment.
All right. Let's
Okay.
hear it.
Okay.
A
like-
small trying to get the exact town name.
Well, then-
Small town in Utah.
I would like an erotic
Okay,
segment of my own.
Syracuse, Utah.
Okay.
all right.
A janitor at a family movie Cineplex.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
He's the night janitor. So he says to himself, hey, maybe I'll make a little extra scratch. This is what he sets up. He
Yeah.
gets himself a couple of ladies of the night, puts on a live sex show in the movie theater. He's charging people a tiered pricing plan. Okay? $75 you get to participate. $40 no, $50 you get a front row seat. $35 you get a back row seat.
Back row, $35 a set. Will you get binoculars? Is it a
I don't
dark
know.
room?
I don't know.
What's participate mean?
So-
Be had sex with?
Yeah, so if
Have
you,
sex
you
with someone?
so if you pay
How much?
the $75
$75 to fuck people in front of people is a small fee.
exactly.
Yeah,
What-
that's low.
First of all,
Definitely.
talk about who are these guys buying the $50 seats? They can't
Raise
wrangle up
25.
the extra $25
Maybe
bucks.
they don't want to be in it. Though.
That's
Let
true.
me ask you this: do you get to JO in the theater?
Sure, I'm sure
Yeah,
with this
that-
kind
is
of
that
thing.
allowed?
Well, nobody got to do anything because this guy advertised on Craigslist, and about 4 people attended, two of whom were the police.
I just had a great idea.
You rent out the whole movie theater?
Here's what we
No,
do.
he was the night janitor.
we
Oh, that's great.
Anthony and I used to run a comedy show that no one
Yeah.
would come to. Had a
Right.
hard time.
Uh-huh.
So what we do is we advertise it as one of these 3-tier sex shows. People come. Probably no one
Mhm.
comes, but at least the cops come. We put on a comedy show for the cops.
Then it's a fundraiser for the cops.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that.
Well,
Yes,
we should
because
back up.
actually, good point, because there is no crime in advertising it.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
no
maybe
crime.
there is. I don't know the law.
No, I don't know. I think unless you're actually doing it, I think it's fine. So if they show up and it's like, "Woo-wee, we got a surprise for you. We're actually doing a police academy fundraiser." That's great.
For the new Police Academy movie, which would be amazing. I would kill to see that. What?
I'm-
What was that?
Are you doing erotic noises?
No, I'm auditioning. I want
Oh,
to be
to
the.
be when
Boy.
Yeah.
what's his name in it?
Mouth to the south. Oh, come on.
It's not Mouth of the South.
No, it's Winslow.
Vroom,
Steve Winslow.
vroom.
It doesn't sound like anything.
Winslow, Michael Winslow.
No, I'm
It
making
doesn't-
noises so that he does noises with his mouth. So I'm
First off, if you want to do a no,
wait,
no.
what is that? Say what you're doing before you do it.
okay, this is
You guys are terrible at noises.
this is a
You'll go next.
so it's like you're like they're the police car's driving down the
Listen, I
street, and
hate
he
to interrupt
pretends-
you.
He
but I
pretends
hear-
he sees a lawnmower there, and he goes like, like a lawnmower
Oh,
noise, like,
God.
and then
That's the lawnmower.
It hurts my ears
then,
to hear you
Greg,
doing
stop
this.
it.
and then like an ice cream truck
With the ice
comes,
cream truck
and
killer.
he's all like,
We are losing listeners.
Okay, all right.
People are
okay.
stopping.
hey, there's a lawnmower and an
No,
ice
now
cream
they have
truck.
to say this. Let me say this. I opened the door naked, and my boyfriend's best mate is there. Oh
Greg,
my God!
enough
my
Wait,
with
can
this.
you
fantasy
guys
today
do
will
any
come
noises? Can
Greg,
you do a noise?
Stop with the erotic news for a second. What about your noises?
True. I can't do a noise, but all I can do is play this electric guitar I have here in the studio. That's all I
That's
can
really
do.
good.
Yes, my electric guitar.
That's actually really good. That's almost as good as I do like a kind of a thing where I do the noise of one of those amusement park rides, like the
Uh-huh.
Ferris wheel starting up. Like
That is not. It's a gargoyle being born.
one ride for the Ferris wheel, please.
I don't.
Is that good?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just got distracted. Did you guys hear what just happened on the news?
What?
No.
I knew that something
Oh.
was different.
Uh-oh.
Then I felt his penis getting hard.
Do you? Let me ask you this. Do you? Because
I wasn't
know,
even asked about one of my noises.
I know you're
You
fooling
can't
us.
do any noises.
Bullshit.
Let's
I'll do one right
yeah,
now.
do a noise. Do a noise.
And then we gotta get back to Brendan. We've been interrupting each other all
you
No,
podcast.
I
guys
got no
see-
stories.
Oh, I guess a horse just walked in
Oh,
to
he
the
does
room.
do a good horse. Oh boy. Oh no, he didn't do it good. No, this isn't it. He's
Ooh,
not,
a
he's gonna do-
horse.
he can do
Nailed
horse
it.
usually.
Hold
But
on, let me
today-
get him out of here.
No, first off, that's a dead horse. The real horse is here.
That's no. You know what that is? That's a hack impression of a horse.
That's because hack
Because that's
is
the
accurate.
standard impression of a horse.
Because that's what a horse sounds like.
No, they
Oh,
don't.
hold
They
on, hold
sometimes
on.
do that noise
Hold on,
too.
guys. The
That's good.
guys,
Yeah, I know. I'm a good horse sound
guys.
maker.
The
All right, but don't get cocky.
I'm sorry, I
the-
shouldn't be.
the actual horse just came in.
No, you guys are making me very upset. Because you're both the same when it comes to these noises. Neither of you have any talents, and you try to stride
No,
around
I-
here
I did
like
a
making
good one
noises
the
is
other
easy.
day.
You can do a good. What is that? You do one impression, Dr. Nick.
Yeah, I do a good Dr. Nick. But I did something the other day that was Miss Piggy.
Let's hear it.
Remember I did a good Miss Piggy?
Let's hear it.
Kermit.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
All right, let's move on.
Oh, this is fun. So Valley Falls, Kansas, comes up with a program, right?
Let's reel it back in a little bit.
Valley Falls, Kansas.
Come on.
Anthony spilled water on the fucking mixer. In Valley Falls, Kansas, this is actually fun. They decide they're going to do an experimental, really progressive law.
Are you kidding me?
Guys,
Are you kidding me that you did
so
that with
Greg
the water?
stole Anthony's water. Anthony then tickled his belly like the Pillsbury Doughboy while Greg was trying to swallow. Greg's now trying to avoid spitting up this water. He's in that in-between space where you can't swallow. He looks like a fish. He doesn't know what to do. He's going to spit it out. Oh, spit it out. Okay, I think he swallowed. All right, listen to this. Listen to this, because I love...
Like a real flounder.
I think this is right up your alley, Greg. I think this is right up Greg's alley. Valley Falls, Kansas. They're doing a progressive law enforcement thing where they're trying to change things up a little bit. Here's what they do: they're giving out police cars to the Citizens Patrol.
Oh, just like Police
What?
Academy.
Yeah, they're giving out police cars. They say, here's the thing. It's not really the police officers that make things safe. It's the cars that make things safe. We'll give
Stupid.
this auxiliary citizens police cars. Everything will be fine, right?
No.
No.
What if a real crime happens?
Yep.
You got fake cops.
Well, here's what it led
And
to.
even worse, they're showing up in real cars, so those people are like, "Oh, great, the cops are here." That old man Winslow pulls out, and you're just like, That's a fucking dentist.
I mean, it didn't even get that advanced. These guys weren't pulling up to anything. They were just driving around town like madmen, sirens blaring, racing each other in the street, driving on sidewalks.
Now you need police to police the police.
Yeah, just exactly what you would expect if you said, let's just give people police cars.
That's
Blaring air horns? I mean, that's fun. I'd
That
love
is
to
fun.
get involved in that.
I would love. We should move this town. I would love to get a police car. You just start sirening it up. Yeah. I'd pull over other cops. Oh no, I'll just fucking. What's the first thing I do? I take my gun out, start shooting up the ice cream truck. Free ice cream for the boys, the children, for everybody gets free ice cream.
I
Maybe-
love that moment when they first gave them the police cars and then they just drove on the sidewalk and they're like, ah, shit.
Well, I'll tell you what I did do. I found a loophole when I was in college.
Yeah.
I realized this. On our campus, there were no regular police. All the parking enforcement was all the campus police, right? So I realized very early on the campus police doesn't have access to normal law enforcement databases.
Yeah.
Okay. By their rule was in order to have a car on campus, you had to register with them, so they were aware of whose car that was.
You don't register.
It occurred to me, wait a second, if I don't register, I'm a ghost, baby.
Yeah, you're a
Because there's
ghost.
no real cops on campus, and these guys won't know who I am. I just parked wherever I wanted.
Yeah.
I'd drive up to the door of the cafeteria. I would literally park just on the sidewalk in front of my classes, wherever I wanted.
And they couldn't get you.
I was a king.
They could call the real police though.
Well, they
didn't.
put a boot on my car.
Oh, what the fuck? You can't get to that with a soldering iron. Not a soldering iron, but one of those chisels. What are you just texting?
The jaws of life is
I have
what
my
you
own
need.
segment coming up that I was looking up information for.
Yeah, you got it.
No.
Okay.
I think Yahoo's got a parental ban on my phone or something.
Does reading erotica turn you on?
Yeah,
It
it
turns
did.
me on a lot.
Yeah. I
I'm-
used to be into that when I first started
Yeah.
doing stuff. with
What,
my body.
masturbating?
Yes,
Mhm.
I used to read some things.
Real quick, are we trying to keep this at some kind of G rating?
I don't
Not
think
this
so.
episode.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've got to be aware that Anthony's mother, who's just, if I could say this, one of the sweetest women I've ever met.
Fuck my clothes.
She's a big fan.
My clothes are in the dryer.
You can't let your mother listen to this podcast.
She doesn't know how to do that.
Then that's fine.
She's not going to listen to this.
Good.
She has no idea.
I've
how to
been
do that.
sending her links.
Also, it doesn't. She's fine with everything.
Yeah,
talk
she's the
about-
best.
There's not a thing that we haven't talked about.
Super cool.
She's the greatest.
But I'm not. You guys can't be putting me on some kind of reins.
There's no. You just introduced the rings. I said I'm looking at my own erotica segment, and then you said, "Are we having like a G-rated thing on this podcast?"
No, because I was doing the hot.
Yeah,
talk,
well,
the
but
hot
here's the
talk.
thing.
Hot
I don't
that's
think
fun,
there's-
man. That's you should call it.
I don't think there's any kind of reins in terms of decency. Where I do think, where I was trying to rein you in, and I don't mean to step on your feet,
Sure.
is as far as I could tell, you were just reading erotica.
But we're probably going to get a bunch of people who enjoy that.
Well, but here's the thing.
That's a wrong.
Here's the
I don't know
thing.
if that's what
I
we-
don't think
maybe
you-
we do want a bunch
I
of
think that
greasy
people.
perverts.
I think we have to make a decision. We have to make a decision right now, and
Uh-huh.
that's: is this podcast going to be 100% erotica, or is it going to be what
No.
it's been? Because I
I-
think you don't. The
I
guy
don't-
who's looking for some erotic
This isn't going to be
audio stuff, they don't want just 80% comedy, 20% erotic
Yeah.
fiction.
This is where I disagree. I feel like people who are looking for erotica are going to want the 100% erotica podcast.
Right.
But if we could slowly introduce erotica to the normal man, they might enjoy it. And so you do a comedy podcast and you have a little portion of erotica and it turns a couple people on. How much funnier is it to have funny and then also be turned
Well,
on?
I think humor is an aphrodisiac as it is.
Yeah.
So you
I
combine that with actual erotica. Now you're talking about that's a full. It's like that's a.
Yeah, I
You
think
know?
that we could turn. I think that we can add a little bit of other elements of emotions into this. I think that maybe we get a little. We talk about our day and these news stories, and then we give them about
I
5
don't
minutes
know
to really
though,
turn
man.
these
The
guys on.
format's great. The format that we've been doing is great. I don't want us to become an all erotica podcast.
I'm
I
not
think
saying
that's a
all. I'm
bad
saying
move.
10 to 15% erotica.
Can I say where I'm weighing in on this?
Sure.
I'm 100% for those of you who at home aren't aware of how we run this podcast. The way we run this podcast is, and it's a policy that we all agree with wholeheartedly, and that's whatever any one of the rad dudes wants to do, they are allowed to do. There's no
Oh, that's a good
there's
point.
no leaders on this podcast.
There's one leader.
Just fucking say it.
There's no leaders on this
No
podcast.
leaders.
That being said, I personally am not going to be reading any erotica.
Okay.
But if you are reading erotica, and that's what strikes your fancy is where this podcast should go, I guess I'm in no position to tell you to do otherwise.
What I hear there is Mama just cooked a bunch of chicken cutlets. And you and the family sat down, and the whole family said, I'm not eating chicken cutlets. So what I feel is, then I get to eat all the chicken cutlets. So I get to do all the erotica. And that's fine.
Well, no, I'll have a chicken cutlet.
I have got my own erotica segment that I'm working on.
Yeah, you always want to steal my things.
No, because we each had one. Then I feel left out.
All right, let's hear your
What was
erotica
the-
segment.
No,
What
I
was the
can't
thing about
bring it
the-
up. I think there's parental controls on my phone.
See, and that's a problem, I think. I think parents should be allowing children to read erotica because it really shows you how to feel, who you are as a person.
No. No.
You don't think so?
No, you can't.
It's just words,
You
and
can't
children
give
should be
your
reading.
kid erotica. You can't. You can't. That makes you a weirdo. Yeah.
It does make you a weirdo.
Now,
if
you-
you
now if
force
you-
feed your kids
yeah.
erotica.
Now, if you want to say, if I find my kid reading erotica,
I'm not gonna be
I'm going to
mad.
pretend I didn't notice it, or I'm not going to be mad, or be understanding of the whole thing. Fine.
Sure.
But you can't give your kid
you
erotica,
can't
Greg.
voluntarily give your children erotica.
It's not porno pictures. It's not.
How
not,
old are we talking?
I'm talking. You're having a hard time reading. Well, let's make
Sorry.
that read a breeze.
Okay.
Here's some erotica.
So you're talking around the age where you're learning reading. So you're talking
Third,
about you
fourth
give
grade.
you give a 6 or a 7-year-old erotica. You're giving your 6-year-old kid some erotica.
I would say 90% of the words in this aren't even dirty. I mean, look at this sentence, right? I felt a strange stretching in my vagina. The only dirty word there is vagina. I
Wait
mean,
a
we got
second.
some other words.
That's not even.
Felt.
That's supposed to be erotica. That sounded like a medical.
It's like a medical condition.
Yeah.
No, it's
strange stretching.
Yeah, you gotta. Ma'am, you might be having a baby.
Listen, there's nothing even dirty in this sentence. He exploded inside of me, but remained firm as he wrote out his erection.
That's
One dirty word, and erection isn't even dirty.
No, he exploded.
That's, a,
No,
buil-
you
that's a
can't.
building term.
You can't give that to a kid.
Explode isn't a bad word unless
I know,
you're
but
talking
why-
about
why-
terrorism.
No, but it's the context. Why you? What you can't give that to a child.
A kid's
Yeah,
gotta
they should know how to maintain a woman's fantasy. I think early on. I mean, this is a big
I
part of
think-
relationships.
I don't know. This might get us on a watch list of some sort. I don't know if this is really what you want to be. No.
I was on fire. Then my husband married. They're married. That's how healthy is that? With his enormous penis. Entered me. He entered me. No one.
This
if you
is-
say broke the door open, I'd say, "Whoa, that's not great." But he entered
I'd
like a
rather
gentleman.
somebody say broke the door open than say enter.
Did I ever tell
I hate
you
that term.
that me and my friend Matt Sheeman, you know him from the Amish story.
Sure.
We called 911. Called 911 in 5th grade, and he said this was. I mean, no, this was actually in 1st grade.
Mm.
So this was.
Can you toss this?
Cutting
I gotta
edge.
I gotta go to the bathroom. So
He-
you can toss this to me when I go over there.
Yeah.
So he calls 911 and he says, "Emergency! Emergency! 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 My dick's on fire!"
Hold on. Listen, if you know anything about prank phone calls,
Yeah.
rule number 1: 911 can track you.
Right. They came.
That's
I mean,
what
they
they're
weren't-
built for.
They weren't happy.
Or what do you get? What kind of trouble do you get in?
They were looser back then, so they kind of they gave a call back. You
Oh,
know?
they didn't just send a
Well,
police
no,
guy.
I mean, I think they saw right through that one. I mean, they're getting 5-6 kids a day calling saying their dick's on fire. That's not.
Why did he think it was on fire?
No, he knew it wasn't on fire. It was a prank.
Oh, it was a
Anthony
prank.
is currently in the bathroom. That
I think
should be
Anthony's
noted.
taking a dump. It's good he's got the long mic.
You got to give Anthony. If I know one thing about a technician, it's you got to give Anthony the long mic
because he'll
that
wander
guy's
on you.
he's going to take a
I
shit.
don't want to be out of the podcast. I was having a great time.
Yeah,
this
you're in.
podcast is fun.
I tell you, it's not so much fun. I will say that it's stimulating. I think that we're hitting all the angles here. Let me just take a break for a second, and I read a little bit of erotica.
Are you getting too turned on?
No, because I like to take a break from stories and read a little bit.
Yeah,
No,
can we
Rob.
read one of like the
Proceeded
normal
to lap
stories?
it up as he sucked and fiddled with my nipples.
Stop it. That's terrible.
That's awful.
That's terrible.
Is it?
Yeah.
guys-
I think because we're in this post-Victorian age where people are just so hell-bent on really suppressing our sexual fantasies.
I think that was Victorian. I think post-Victorian we're really having
Post-Victorian?
fantasies.
well,
I think,
because of the Victorian age, we're still feeling the need to hide what we are as people, and what we are as people is horny.
I'll tell you though, I like a good Victorian crook. You know what I mean?
I don't know any of those.
Well, those are the
You
kind of
love
guys.
any crook.
I
does
do
love
Just
love.
love a crook.
I do love crooks, but a Victorian crook. What you do in Victorian times, okay? Your face is all dirty. You're operating out of a chimney sweep sort of setup. And what you do is you get a pack of kids. That was how your schemes all worked. You were the king of a pack of kids. It was almost like
You get a bunch of orphans.
Yeah, absolutely. It was almost very much like the Foot. The Foot Soldiers,
The Foot Clan.
the Foot Clan of Shredder, who had that
Sure.
underground arcade area. Similar thing in Victorian times. You get yourself a gang of orphans. They're out there. They kind of worship you like a cult. You know, and you get them out there on the streets of London. They're pickpocketing. They're running scams. They're running hoaxes. Whatever you want.
that happened big in the Victorian age?
I think so. I mean, I think that's what you.
That's probably still happening. I think a lot of Chinese immigrants are very big on that right now.
Immigrant here?
Yeah, man. What do you think? If you go to an Apple store any launch day, you're going to see a bunch of Chinese immigrants buying up, selling iPhones, and they got bad teeth.
My thing is you train like animals
Who?
to do your bidding. Like I feel like that goes on.
Just because you're in another room doesn't mean you need to yell. You have a microphone.
like that goes on in a radio. Well, I don't know if you got. I know you can hear me over the headphones, but I don't know if you can physically hear me.
We can hear
I
you.
can hear you.
Oh, okay. Like Arabia, I feel like people get monkeys to do stuff for them.
Oh, like in Aladdin.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
Yeah,
true so much as it
here's
is just
the
in
thing.
Aladdin.
Here's the thing. I think.
It's true.
Well, first of all, I don't know if there's any place you technically call Arabia still. Maybe you can maybe, but here's the thing about that. I do know that that's a thing.
What, monkeys stealing
Yeah,
from you?
you can get a
For real,
monkey
for real.
crook. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can get a monkey crook, but
Oh, shit.
it doesn't happen that often because it's not fucking.
The
easy.
Hangover too.
You got to
Yeah.
train the monkey.
Yeah, it's not easy. Like it's not really even worth your time.
Really?
You don't think
yeah,
so?
ah man, that's tough.
Oh, but how much
to
more
train
fun and
a
how much
monkey.
respect do you get in the community?
But not a lot, because you're generally sort of a one-eyed old man. You got your monkey, and it's just you and your
What
monkey.
kind of tricks is this monkey pulling? Just
Well, he'll
basic
steal
wallets?
bread. Yeah, he's steal.
People
steal
got
a-
stuff stealing bread. You got to go with like the meats, okay? Bread just carbs. It's a quick energy.
Yeah, but here's the thing about that: you don't get meats lying out. That's why you steal your breads, your fruits, your veggies, because they're lying out in the stands.
Let me tell you this: you steal a bread, right? You're gonna have energy for maybe a half hour before you pass out, because you just the carbs, man. They burn too quick. You need a kind of like Tita. What's that word? Roughage.
Roughage.
Like a lettuce.
Roughage.
Like
A lettuce. Something that'll sustain you all day.
What? Tita, is that true? Tita's a nutritionist.
Yeah, Tita, get out. Tita, come out here.
We gotta ask Tita too. Greg's girlfriend Tita's a nutritionist.
Tita.
Greg says roughage. So, what do you call it?
Roughage.
Roughage will
Roughage?
sustain you
Will that sustain you?
Rabbits eat roughage.
because roughage
Has
has
fiber.
fiber, and fiber is going to sustain you as opposed to a carb, which will burn quick and you get hungry again quicker, right?
So if I were to have a monkey, I'd want to train it to steal lettuce, not bread.
Tita, I got a question for you. How do you feel about erotica on the podcast? Do you think if you were listening to a radio show and then someone started telling intimate, hot
No.
stories? See, Tita
Tita.
likes it. See, that's why she finds it very interesting.
Do
See,
women like erotica? Like the 50 Shades of Grey type thing?
Women, see? Women,
I-
50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah,
That's
but we
very
shouldn't
hot right
do
now.
an all
I
erotica
actually,
podcast.
I haven't told you this. I'm working on, and I know I haven't brought it up on the podcast, but I'm working on my own erotic novel.
Really?
Yeah, it's going well because I saw 50 Shades of Grey. That thing's selling like hotcakes.
Dude, I'm
Okay.
telling you this. The next we're doing a bonus episode right after this, and I'm just
can't
going to
hear.
read straight erotica.
Yeah.
Can we do that? A
Can you
bonus
guys
episode?
talk louder? I can't really
Yeah.
hear in here.
Yeah, stop taking a shit and come out here.
Do you don't want to know?
Can you hear him? I can only hear him in the headphones.
I can hear him. You don't want to know about my novel?
Yeah, I would love to hear about your novel.
It's called The Mailman's Penis.
Oh, The Mailman's Penis.
It's called The Mailman's Penis. It's actually set in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You have any questions?
Yeah, tell me. Who does he meet? Who does he get into? Is he
Well-
entering people? How long before he's really pulling his entrance?
First thing first, he's not a mailman.
Is he a mailman?
No.
Like
well, yeah, he
MALE?
is, but he's playing the mailman in the Kevin Costner movie of the same
Oh, I
name.
love that movie, The Mailman. The
Yeah.
Postal Man.
Yeah,
The
so
Postman.
he's playing the main character in the mailman.
Sure.
So he is in fact Kevin Costner.
So this is just a porno with Kevin Costner. in it.
Well,
No one can hear you, Anthony.
What?
Who's he?
I hear him on the mic talking.
Is he talking to himself?
I guess.
No one can hear you.
What was he saying?
I heard. I think he was talking to his own shit.
Sometimes I like to encourage it.
What were you saying in there? Were you praying?
I got a text, so I just was talking to myself about it.
But
That's weird.
So I was just bringing Greg up to speed on my erotic novel I'm writing.
Can we just
I heard the beginning of that. I didn't hear the end of that.
Can we do one
Here.
bonus episode where I read erotica and we all just try to make it? We all just try to do erotica.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that next. One erotic episode, and we'll just count it as a
I
bonus
feel like
episode.
this has been pretty erotic, though.
No, this is us.
What were you
adding
saying
my
about 50 Shades of Grey?
He's
Oh, I'm
got a
writing my
post
own.
story.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's called the mailman's penis.
I told you.
It's not about an actual mailman. It's about the lead character in the Kevin Costner movie, The Mailman.
The Postman?
The Postman,
Oh,
which is a great
Postman.
movie.
Yeah,
Postman.
that movie, only complaint wasn't long enough.
hold
It's
on.
about
I
4.5
love
hours
that
long.
movie.
I did too.
I thought it was very good. It was just,
Oh,
So I was a real
everyone,
complaint.
hold your horses.
all right.
Tell me that movie's called The Postman.
It's called The Postman.
As a postman.
I'm 650 pages into this now. I'm 650 pages into
Tita.
The Mailman's Penis.
What was you talking about? Oh, that was a lettuce thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Be careful. We should be doing our own kind of erotic
Yeah.
thing in there.
Oh,
Boy,
you think she got turned on from your erotic talk?
Probably. I can't be. I'm reading erotica over the airwaves. Panties are dropping.
can I say I don't want to toot our own horn?
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm not the kind of guy that sits behind the wheel tooting its own horn.
Uh-huh.
As a matter of fact, you've seen me in a car. When anyone honks, I get furious.
Yeah, these guys have a lot of road rage.
I never.
But I will say, I think we're breaking ground with this podcast.
With the erotica.
this sort of no,
can't
not the
do
erotic.
strictly erotic.
This sort of free form, loosey goosey, all over the place. What's going to happen next? Nobody knows. The edge of your seat,
what
your
people
pants
think.
are
It's
falling
just-
down. Hold on to your heads.
It's just no preparation, and that's I think what everyone else is doing. So I think that's why this is why it's failing.
I put a little
Failing. This thing is working
This
great, man.
people are saying great things.
I did
about
get
the
a
Rad
note
Did we do
from-
any news stories though? I like the news
Well, I
stories.
say I did get a note. I got 2 notes. So then
Tonight?
I did talk up. One is we shouldn't be talking about how good or how bad the podcast is. That was one note I got. I said, all right, I'll talk to the boys. The second one is we have to stop mentioning people by their first and last name.
Why?
That was a big one.
Who's gonna know who they are? Then?
I'm not going to say who it was, but someone in the first episode we mentioned is me losing my virginity to. And they were, a friend of theirs said, you probably shouldn't say their name. And I didn't say their name. Anthony said their name. And you just talk about this Matt Sheeman all the time.
Hey, he's great. He loves it. I don't say a bad story. It's me and him. Hijinks.
That's what I would say
Yeah,
too
that's
about
fun,
that
too.
story. That's nothing wrong. All right.
No,
Well, anyway, out of
that was
respect-
across the line. We said so at the time.
Out of respect for the
Is there a
dead,
way we can go back and
shouldn't do
I
that.
could blank out that name?
Yeah, well, you got to get a time machine. I mean, that's out there.
It's gonna, yeah. So,
That's out there in the.
be a little hard.
Yeah.
Let's get into one of these news
Let's
stories.
get one of these hachi-chachi news stories.
All right. I don't have him. He's the news guy. I'm the leader.
Well, you guys know about Mayor of Toronto, Rob Ford?
No, he just threw a quarter, hit me in the fucking face. Hit me right in the eye. I didn't even blink. I have lead in my eye now.
To be fair, it went so slow toward his face, and he
Okay.
didn't do a thing
No,
about it.
I'm making
it
a
literally
judgment.
Was going into the eye he was
You-
looking at it with, and
you-
didn't do anything.
You bring it to me, I'm going to make a judgment.
Yeah.
And here's a judgment.
Such a dude, like a
Here's a-
tattletale.
Let Brendan
A little
talk.
bitch.
He's going
Here's
to rule on my side because
the-
you hit me in the face.
I'm not
You
ruling
don't know
on
what
anyone's
he's gonna
side.
rule on.
I'm not a judge. I'm not a judge, but I will say this. Now, we don't have, as we've established, it's the Three Musketeers system. Whatever anyone wants to do on this podcast, they do. Going forward, now no one has to pay for previous crimes. No one has to pay for previous crimes. Going forward, nobody throw any change. That includes nickels, pennies, dimes, quarters, Sacagaweas, half-pence.
This is a kangaroo court. He should be treated for his
No
throwing
one
me the face in the
throws
face.
Looks like a
change in
kangaroo just
anyone's
walked
face.
into the court.
Oh, you guys are a kangaroo. No, that's kangaroos don't say kangaroo. Kangaroos don't say kangaroo.
But then what do they sound like? You're such a goddamn kangaroo expert. What do they sound like?
They're silent and strong. They're boxers.
Okay.
All right, well,
Let me ask
do
you this: how many
that.
kangaroos have you met?
How many? A million.
Okay, then you
million.
would be familiar with.
You met a million kangaroos. Where'd you meet 'em?
The Bronx Zoo.
They got a million kangaroos. At
I
the
met
Bronx
one
Zoo.
over 100 million times. I don't know. Probably less.
Fine.
6 times.
Fine.
All right. Well, Rob Ford, Mayor of Toronto.
Okay, but can we cut his mic for at least 5 minutes as a penalty?
no
No,
penalties.
because going forward, come on. See, Brendan?
All right, let me
What
think
he
of a
does-
just penalty.
Oh, he hit me in the face with a quarter.
He did
It
hit
hurt.
you in the face with the quarter.
The eye that he was looking at the quarter going
Okay.
into. It was so slow,
Okay.
too. If you
Here's
saw
the
it, you
punishment.
Would you
Yeah.
would
The
The
understand.
punishment. Now, I'm not saying I'm a leader,
You're not the leader,
but
you are.
brought a case
yeah,
to me.
I brought a case
There's
At
to
any
you.
three
time-
leaders. You're not the one leader.
You're not the leader.
At any
There are no
time,
leaders. You
anyone
gotta
can bring a
understand that.
case to anyone else.
Uh-huh.
And
That person's
I've
the
been
judge.
asked for judgment.
Yeah.
I will lay down judgment.
I love
Anthony,
this, by the way. This is
you-
a great system.
Your punishment is this:
I like it
you
better
have to
than he
now
does.
say something about yourself that you're embarrassed about or do not like. You have to say it for the
Well,
public.
I should be able to say something that I'm embarrassed about him.
Nope. This is
No,
judgment.
because then that's mean.
yeah, he has to say something that he's truly
All right.
embarrassed or ashamed or secretive about.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you guys know that story of when I blamed this fart on this Polish girl who sat behind me in Western class?
No.
No.
That's something I'm embarrassed about.
What
so
happened?
I'm really good, you know. So I farted once in class, and I'm really good at usually maintaining a poker face while I fart. I farted, and everybody looked over, and I just kept working on my thing. The only person that knew about the fart was the girl that sat directly behind me who didn't speak any English. She was Polish.
Ugh.
And everyone looked over at me. She was the only one that knew the truth, because 2 people behind me, it's anybody in the front row. You don't
Right.
know. But the one directly behind, she knew. Everyone looked over. Sharon can't say full name. So this girl looks over.
But she don't speak English, so that's okay.
No, there's another girl. A
Oh.
girl in high school. She looks over.
What was her name? What was her first name?
Sharona.
Oh, okay. Well, I only.
But I'm not going to say the full name. That could
Don't.
be Sharona.
Yeah,
anybody.
keep going. Yeah, yeah.
So then everybody looks over.
My Sharona.
I point to the Polish girl.
Yeah.
Which was her first name?
What's up?
What was her first name?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. So I point
Olga?
to her. Everyone thinks it's her, and she can't say a word because she doesn't know
English.
English. So, and then I made, it was awful. Then on the bus with Sharona that day, I made fun of the Polish girl with her.
Oh my
Terrible.
god. You're I mean, I gotta say this. Our podcast has lost the 3 listeners who
You
supported
told me to tell like a vulnerable, embarrassing
You know what?
story.
You did the punishment, and I think, Greg, you need to accept his punishment. That
Thank
was
I accept it, but you're still a mean person.
well. I
You-
think
'cause
you're a great person.
I'll tell you what you did. You did that fart thing and you threw a quarter in my eye. Okay, so that's 2 things you did that are bad things.
I was trying to give you a quarter in
Oh.
my own way.
Now, Rob Ford, mayor of Toronto. You know this guy, sort of chubby. Mayor
Never heard of him, but
Toronto. There's a Somali gang out shopping a video of this fella smoking crack. Mayor of Toronto. Toronto's
I
one
think-
of the leading cities in the world. Their mayor's smoking crack.
Is Toronto a
That's a
leading city in
problem.
the world?
Yeah, Toronto's a very big.
Really?
Toronto is the diamond of the north.
That's what they. I got a question for you though, and this is going to bring up a lot of race relations and economical issues. If you had heard he was doing cocaine, would it be worse?
I have always.
Why does that bring up a race issue?
Well, no, it's right. A lot of people. That's
Assumed-
often been there's a lot of stigma. People believe that the stigmatization of crack is a racial issue.
That's okay.
Because cocaine is historically kind of a upper class drug,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and crack is widely used in
You go to
urban areas.
jail
That's
more for crack than cocaine.
yes. That's
Oh,
why
really?
I've always
yeah, that's
100% have a policy. Cocaine, crack, same thing to me.
Isn't it the same? Isn't like a crack?
Well-
rock cocaine.
look, crack. It is. Crack is you cook cocaine you cook it into rocks essentially,
Right.
and it's a shorter high and it's kind of a crazier high.
For crack.
Yeah, crack is sort of a crazier drug, a little bit,
Okay.
kind of more like meth,
Mm.
where you're sort of in a mania.
Mhm.
But to me, it wouldn't be different. But I think you're right, Greg. To a lot of people, it would make a difference.
Yeah, I think as people heard cocaine, they go, "Oh, come on, we all do a little sugar booger."
I think it's booger sugar.
Yeah, well, they say that. Everyone thinks that everyone. I don't. First off, I don't stand behind any of this stuff. If you're listening to this, I am not into drugs, and you should just say no.
I'm into it. I don't do it. I don't do drugs. But I think
What a moral stance you've taken.
I
You wanna
say
feed
go to
6-year-olds
town.
erotica.
I
Well, that's
say
what I think. If we got now, I just brought in all these young kids with my erotica. I want to tell those kids to not do drugs.
Mm.
my whole thing on that is I don't think any kids should do anything, but I think it's you own your body, do whatever you want, know the risks,
Cut your own head off.
yeah, that's what I say. Cut your own head off, whatever you're into. I can't. You live inside your own brain. If you want to put crazy shit into your brain, who am I to tell you not to?
Well, because then those people who do crazy shit in their brain, and then they go crazy. They rob banks.
Well, then that is unacceptable. Don't rob a bank. Well, first of all, I like a crook.
You do like,
But
a crook.
if you rob a bank and hurt someone, then I don't like you. But
you know,
you
then people,
accept
they-
responsibility for that.
I think we
what
should
are-
be telling people that it's not great for you to do, because then they get hooked on these things, and then they throw their lives away.
Yeah, but I say take personal responsibility. If you want to experiment, it's not for me to tell you.
I guess I don't argue with that so much.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, I guess.
So anyway, but here's where
What's-
I think the problem comes in. If you're the mayor of a large municipality,
Mm.
you can't be letting people take videos of you smoking crack with a gang.
What do you think they put him up to it? Like the Somali gang? You
Gun
think
to
they
his
were
head.
like,
Smoked his crack.
Well,
"W- smoke this crack. We're gonna use this against you in this video or something like that.
I don't think so. It's coming out. He's sort of had some troubles in the past. His
With-
family's linked to drug dealing. He's admitted to smoking crack in the past.
White guy, black guy.
White guy, sort of chubby white guy.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, I feel like how is he still the
What are
mayor?
you rolling around with this Somali gang for?
Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
strange.
that should also be.
That's
you should
like the
be
thing-
also
That's
exiled.
more of the thing,
Yeah, yeah,
almost.
what
Like,
do you-
why
what
aren't
do
you
you-
smoking crack with charity workers?
Or just crackheads.
No, but I mean, what are you hanging out with these people for? I've never seen a Somali gang builds church. You know what I mean?
Right.
Somali gang robs a ship on the open waters. You know that these people usually are up to no good. What are you doing
Somalians.
with them?
I don't want to sound racist. Never heard a good thing about a Somalian.
Uh,
It's not being racist. It's just what literally I've heard in my life. I don't
Yeah.
know any Somali
Well,
people,
here,
but there's a lot of dirty stuff coming out about these guys.
let me
I think
tell
they're
you.
good runners.
Oh, really?
Mm,
I think they're Kenyans.
nah,
Maybe Yeah, maybe.
Ethiopians, Kenyans,
Oh,
they're
okay.
more. But here's the thing: we don't want to.
Are Ethiopians and Somalians the same?
No. Here's the thing about Somalia: it's a war-torn, impoverished country. Of course, there's good people there.
Of
But
course,
where
there are.
these
Sure.
where these pirates now we're getting away from.
That's
But
fine.
any gang. I'm saying you could be a Somali gang, you could be a Bulgarian gang. If you're a gang, most gangs aren't up to charitable, events and things like that.
Well, yeah,
I
because
think
then
the
you're
Somalian-
a club.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somalians need a better PR system. I think we got to hear some good stories of what some good Somalians are doing, just so that they're in the news more.
Yeah.
Maybe you know what we should do? Maybe give them one of our monuments so people visit there. You know what I
Like,
mean?
what do you want to give them?
I don't know. Jefferson's head on Mount Rushmore.
We're just gonna cut out a head on Rushmore.
Or replace it with like
A Somalian, a prominent Somalian.
Yeah, a prominent Somalian.
So that we can
way
have better
we know
stories.
more, and then it gives some people from our country, hey, let's visit the Jefferson down in Somalia.
Yeah.
We're going out there. Now you got these lines of communication going back and forth.
Let me tell you this. I
We're on all kinds of getaways, like 5 nights, 6 days, throwing meals and shit.
I have
all-inclusive vacations are the
Yeah,
only way
right,
to go.
exactly. Get a wristband. That's fun.
Yeah, get a wristband. All you can drink, all you can eat.
I personally have never been inclined to visit Mount Rushmore when it was at Mount Rushmore. Why the hell would I go to Mount Rushmore when you put it in Somalia? Okay, I'm not going to Mount Rushmore now. I've never been to Mount
You're not
Rushmore.
putting the whole thing. You're just putting one head.
Just Jefferson's head on a
Yeah,
stick.
Well,
yeah.
now, so why do I don't want to go to the full thing? Why do I want to go to 1/5 of it in Somalia?
Because of the deals.
Because of these great
dinner deals.
all-inclusive lobster
Yeah,
dinners.
Like a sandals.
I say we get rid of
Yeah.
this Jefferson's head.
Mm.
We just start having a bunch of great all-inclusive cruises. But they got a lot of shift pirates. So you can't do it. You got to put Jefferson's head on the ship so that it scares away the pirates.
Yeah, what?
I would tell you, I
'Cause
went.
they think he's like a floating god or something?
Yeah, floating god.
Mhm.
I went on
I
a
don't
cruise
know,
one
'cause they're
time.
pretty advanced.
Me and
Are
my
they?
brother are
No,
sharing a
it's-
cabin.
You're sharing your brother with a cabin.
We're sharing a cabin.
What a
on
bunch of
cruise.
gaylords.
I mean, what? boy, this is. Anyway, me and my brother are sharing a cabin. I wake up. Now, this is, mind you, this
What woke
was.
you up?
This
Yeah.
is back.
Come on.
Let's get some of that erotica. Brendan
yeah,
and his
now we're
brother.
talking erotica.
Let me say this. I feel as though the
I'm
only
done.
gay slur that's allowed is gaylords.
Well, I'm off this
Because they're
podcast.
lords.
They're the lords.
I'm out of this
Lords.
podcast.
Come on, you're
No,
going.
I'm
got
out of this
robes.
podcast.
Why?
No more stories for me. No more stories for me with this
Oh.
kind of treatment.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Brandon.
I'm sorry that you find being gay an insult.
Brandon.
Even
That's a
though
good
we have a
point,
lot of
man.
gay listeners who I love and
I don't know
support.
if it's so much being gay. It's having sex with your own brother.
That's weird.
Oh, you're an only child, so you don't understand
the
what,
passion.
what that's like. No, that is a dire. That's gross, man.
Why? Because you're afraid of being
I'm
gay.
saying-
You guys are crossing the line here.
You're homophobic.
No, stop it. I love my brother, but
You're-
you're
Us?
talking about.
You're incestuophobic,
You're
too.
talking about incesticide, incest.
That's
That's
Stop
kill
it.
bugs.
Stop it. Anyway, so I'm on this cruise, right?
what if you're born
Cruise.
that
I
way?
thought you were in a cabin.
Yeah, a cabin on a cruise. That's what you call your room on the cruise. You got a cabin.
Oh, okay.
Let me tell you something. I got a hot brain. I got a fucking case of hot brain on you two gigolamos. You are gonna.
Now what is that? Gigolomos?
Yeah.
That's got to be something. Anthony, get out your racial slur book.
That's not a
get
racist
my
thing.
book.
I'm trying to say one of those Italian things you two
Tita!
bozos always say.
Can you get my racial slur book?
That's that's not racist. I'm
We
trying
gotta
to
look
say,
up
like,
gigolomo.
you guys always.
Tina, it should be on the top
No,
shelf.
you guys always say like you ice
Munuj
capano.
diablo.
No, next
It's
to the
munuj. It's not funuj. I gotta fix that
move
for a few
over the bath
episodes.
towels.
Damn the devil. That means.
Well, here's the
We'll
thing.
get to the bottom of this.
Here's the-
Gigabelows.
Man,
This is all right. Tell me about this
Tell
cabin.
the cabin.
No,
This
you know what?
this story of you finding love.
no, I'm not going to tell you.
Come on, just
No.
tell us. We'd love to hear it.
No.
Hey, listeners, call in. Tell us you want to hear Brendan's story.
Okay.
Brandon.
No, it's not even a good
Brandon.
story now. That's the thing. You get in my head. I get hot brain like a goddamn lava eruption. You don't understand. Listeners, you're listening to this. You see cool, calm Brendan. He's got the stories. He's on top of shit. Well, I get mad. I get mad sometimes. People, I don't know how to deal with these feelings that I have in my brain. My eyes start bulging. Oh,
Hey, man, it's all right. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, man.
you did this.
No, we
To
didn't do
make
it.
you better.
Yeah. Face it on the. You have to face it on the air. Here, let me try something.
If you throw a quarter at
If
him,
you
know that
throw a
that's-
quarter at
that's
me,
outlawed,
you
Greg,
go
know
to
that.
court
Yeah.
because that has been outlawed.
Yeah, that's true.
That
you know
has been outlawed.
You know better than anyone. not
Now,
to throw a
Anthony,
quarter.
tell me this. I had an interesting exchange with someone this week. And I brought up you actually. A lot of people don't know this because you're a very successful comedian, but you
God.
graduated college with a degree in architecture.
Certainly
Is that
did.
correct? Now, can you tell us a little bit about your final project? Because I have heard we've talked about it briefly, and it was sounding fascinating. What was your final architecture project?
Yeah, keep it under a minute.
Why?
I don't know. I don't want to listen to him for more than a minute.
No.
Yeah.
What was your final project?
Okay.
Yeah, tell us this final project.
Okay. All right. Well. All right. So final project, what we had to do is we had to do a mixed-use building, which basically is on the ground floor it was retail, on the top floor it was an apartment building. So my idea was I was going to make a store where you could rent old people. I called it Party Over Here, and
Why would you be renting these old people?
Yeah, if you could repeat, rent.
You don't rent old people
you'd
for
rent
what?
for parties. Like you'd rent them for parties.
Like slavery.
No, not like slavery. Like it's like a service to the people at the party and a service to them as well. Like you could ask them questions about the war. How was Korea? Then they get to tell a nice story that they like to tell.
What kind of
That's all.
prices are we talking?
Well, it depends, like on the weight and the height of the person. Well, I
Wait.
guess that's kind of like slavery.
So this was a normal college for adults.
that I went to?
Yeah.
Yeah, University
Okay.
of Miami. Yep.
Okay, and this was your final senior
This is
project.
my final senior
And
project.
you designed a store where you could rent old people.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
So we're gonna design this place, and now it's an architecture project, so you're not supposed to really be focused on the business aspect of it. You're really just supposed to be focused on like the windows and the doors and the columns. But I had a full business model sent out with I had all these like underground tunnels that would lead to places where you could just shoot the old people down. I did have these weighing stations. That's weird looking back on it. That's how you would price out the old people like groceries. And then
You weigh them.
Yeah, you'd weigh them.
Why not judge them on their story capabilities or their mental capacity?
I don't know if
Because
there's a way to
you
measure
tell
that.
me you send me a big guy, I'm paying a lot of money, and he's got Alzheimer's. Dude, I got the big shaft. I got some maniac old man running around my house trying to put fucking bananas in his ears because of the war.
I mean, yeah.
Not to mention, Greg, have you ever been at a party and said to yourself, "Boy, I really wish there were some more senior citizens at this party."
I'd gander to say
What?
probably no, but I don't
How
get
many
invited to many
parties have
parties.
you ever been to
3.
that you're like, there's nothing? Okay, there's nothing to talk about. You have nothing to say to anybody. I don't have a thing to say to who's this guy in front of me.
Well, I'll
I
tell
don't
you-
give a shit. I don't know him. Then you got some old guy who comes in and he's just like, let me tell you about what it was like when the oven came out.
Well-
and you're like, wow, I want to listen to that fucking day in that guy's life.
I'll tell you this did happen. Anthony and I went to a party where there was nothing to talk about. So you know what we did? We took this poor Jamie Camasco's video camera, taped over the high school graduation with Anthony running around the street in his underwear.
That's fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Okay, so you were presenting this.
So, yeah, okay. So at the end, I didn't know. So I do this whole thing. I don't really tell anybody about it because you can't tell your professor. You just, she'll be like, we can't do that. So at the end, we had to give a presentation on our project. So mine was half baked because I didn't finish the apartment. That had nothing in it. So I just, whatever. I didn't. So I got up and then, I was very confident in my presentation. And I told my whole class.
Well, what was the building looking like? What was this building looking like?
The show looked like crap. There were like 3 windows. There was no doors. It just was undone. But there was elaborate systems. What?
Well, if I'm going to whisper something to you, you might as well just call me out on it.
What? Write it down a note.
No, nothing, because I think you're forgetting a key part of the story.
I tend to forget. I'm not good at these long stories.
You built a wrestling ring, didn't you?
Yeah, but I thought I was gonna. That comes later in the
Oh,
presentation.
okay.
So then. So then I'm going, and I'm talking, and people are like, I'm going. I'm telling people, here's the cage room. Here's
The cage room.
Yeah, you gotta keep them in something.
You could keep them in a room with a bed. But sure, if you want to lock them in a cage, they won't escape. They're humans who are being paid.
But you don't know people, man.
I do know people. I do know that it's illegal to
Did
keep
you guys
people
bring
in
this
cages.
story up because there's all kinds of flaws in it?
You designed and presented a house of horrors.
No, it's
Just,
a nice service.
This is Saw
Sir.
6 You're describing.
Yeah, I saw 6 old people at a party, and it was really cool. So I go and I'm talking all about the cages and those things where they have aliens in those like clear tubes with the water in them.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hyperbolic chambers.
Chambers. I had some of those going.
Wolverine.
Yeah,
And I
you were
said,
growing new ones.
I was talking about those. I might have mentioned the movie Independence Day to try to explain it to people. And everyone was just looking at me, and I would not stop talking. I just was going full steam ahead. And then it got down to the apartment, and there was no rooms in the apartment, nothing. And I just said, "Oh, that's a wrestling ring." And then everyone, "A wrestling ring, huh?" I said, "You're goddamn right, a wrestling ring." So then at one point, so everybody is a gasp. Everyone is just, ooh, I'm
afraid of you.
Some steamy eyes from my professor. And also keep in mind, I never talked the whole semester. So no one had ever really seen me talk. And then the first time they saw me talk, I described this, I guess, kind of sort of a slavery ring for old people. So then
Westchester House. The Westminster House.
Yeah, I forget the name of that one. So then visiting professor, everyone's silent. Everyone is just afraid. And I'm standing there, and he just walks up, and he gets real close to the board, almost like he smelled him. And then he just looks at me, looks at everybody else. He just goes, "Anthony, I don't think it's a good idea to have the wrestling ring next to the bedroom because it's going to bother the old people when they're trying to sleep." And he sat back down.
You get it?
That's
great.
He
That's okay.
legitimized the whole thing.
Yeah, he did, but the professor didn't. I failed. They wanted to kick me out of college.
Really?
Yeah.
For that one
I
project?
had to do a real letter writing campaign.
Oh,
Did
that's
they ever?
good.
Did it ever get built?
No, these are all theoretical projects. We never built anything.
Hmm.
Except No, he didn't win. Somebody else won for a campus kiosk. I thought my design was pretty good.
That's pretty stupid.
Well, that's been the Rad Dudecast episode 5.
5?
Yeah, we went
episode
back to
5.
back, man.
All right.
You can hit us up, ask us questions. We will answer them. Get us at the Rad Dudecast at gmail.com. The Rad Dudecast at gmail.com. And then you can follow the show on Twitter at the Rad Dudecast.
Also,
awesome.
Come
How much fun was that?
go to On the Road every 9:30 at the Creek in the Cave for
Oh.
Mad Dog.
Also, I got to get this 1,000 followers.
Oh, yeah. That
Greg's
got
got to get to 1,000 Twitter followers. Hopefully, he's there by now. But if he's not, even if he is, please follow him at Greg Stone __ on Twitter. You can follow me at Brendan C. Eyre. That's BRENDANCEYRE on Twitter. Anthony, what's your handle?
Anthony Devito _ at twitter.com.
All right, we love you, babies.
I
that was
wanted
weird.
that.
Edit that out. Why did I say that?
We love you, babies.
Yeah, why did I say that?
I think that's cool.
All right, bye, guys.
We love you, babies.
I wanted that long, gorgeous penis inside of my aching wet core. At that moment,